Hello students, I am your science teacher Preeti ma'am and I am going to teach you chapter number 15. This is the biology chapter that I am going to cover, and the name of the chapter is improvement in food resource. And this is my first part, means this is my very first lecture in the improvement of the food resources. And students, please do like, share and subscribe for my channel if you have not yet subscribed. The topics that I am going to cover in this chapter, they are the improvements in the food resources. We will be discussing about the sustainable agriculture and organic farming. Means we will be discussing about sustainable agriculture, organic farming, improvement in food yields, crop yields, how to improve the yields or the production of the crops. In that we will be talking about the different types of crops. We will be talking about the crop seasons and improvement in the crop yield, how to improve the yield of the crops. We'll also be talking about the crop production and management, how to improve that, which are the nutrients which has to be managed by the plants, and how to replenish the minerals which are found. So these are the topics that we are going to cover up. Students, for their existence, for our existence, all living organisms essentially they require food to eat. Early human beings, they started hunting animals and they started collecting fruits or flowers or roots of the forest plants to meet their food requirements. Food is required. Why do we require the food? We require it for the growth, for the development, and for the body repairs. It also protects the body from diseases also, and it provides energy for doing all the life activities, all the life functions. For example, food supplies us with protein. It supplies us with carbohydrates and fats, means lipids, and vitamins, minerals, water, and so on. Among all the living organisms, the green plants, they are called as the autotrophs. Means what? They make their own food. In fact, green plants, they perform the basic metabolic activities called the photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, by using the energy of the sunlight, green plants, they combine carbon dioxide and water to produce carbohydrates. And what is carbohydrate? Food. In contrast to the plants, the green plants, animals and human beings, we are heterotrophs. Means what? We depend on plants and other animals for our food. And since time immemorial, human beings have been doing farming and rearing animals to meet their food requirements. Plants are as food, they are the gift of nature to humans and to most of the animals. In fact, different parts of the plants, means root, stem, leaf, flower and fruit, they are consumed by humans in the form of cereals, vegetables, different spices and fruits. So animals produce milk, eggs, meat, etc., which is also supplement our food requirement. So sustainable agriculture and organic farming, with 1.04 billion people in our country, it ranks second in population growth in the whole world. And if we talk about the estimate by by this year means by 2020, our population, the India's population would rise to 1.343 billion. And to feed such a huge population, we will require at least 241 million tons of grain production per annum, per month, per year. Therefore, it is necessary to increase the production of both the plants and the animals. Even in the past, to meet the demands of the growing Indian population, our scientists Swaminathan or Kurain, they adapted different methods to increase the food production. This resulted in variety of revolutions which has helped us Indians to become self-reliant. These revolutions, they include the green revolution, means the high production of the food grains. Green, everywhere green means food grains. Blue revolution means for the production of the fish. White revolution means increase the production of milk production. Yellow revolution means it has increased the oil production. 1 minute, I'll change over here. This is not milk over here. This has to be oil, O-I-L, oil production. Okay, so, okay. Our scientists, they are continuously making efforts to increase the pulse production also. And it is the golden revolution, which is also called as the increasing in the production of grains. So, sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture means the adoption of various farming and production management techniques to maximize the agricultural yield. What should be done? Which technique to be used to maximize, to increase the agricultural field? And implementing such practices, what would it help us in? It would help us in conserving the natural resources, in saving the natural resources, in maintaining the environmental balance, and also for coping with the human needs. All our human needs can be followed, can be dealt up with. Hence, to ensure sustained livelihood of our Indian farmers and related to that, it is necessary to adapt sustainable agricultural practice. And what does it include? How can we improve the agricultural production? We can do it by mixed farming, by crop protection, rotation, intercropping, or integrated farming. So these are the different ways in which our agricultural products can be increased. Farming, it is a process, the harnessing of the solar energy from the plants and the animals in the form of economic produce. We get the economic value also for this. And conservation means what? To use it carefully and preventing it and restoration of the natural environment and the resources. Integrated agriculture, it implies a combination of agriculture with other forms of culture such as pisciculture, means those who are doing the work of the farming, they also have in their house fish culture. They adopt the fish. They keep a pond in their house. Pisciculture, aquaculture, apiculture. Apiculture means what? Beekeeping. They also have sericulture, means they have silkworm culture also in their house to increase the production economically. So they also have in their house. Including that, they also have the poultry farming. They also have piggeries, the livestock production, means animal husbandry also they have in their houses. So what are the advantages of the sustainable agriculture? The sustainable agriculture is an agricultural production and distribution system that achieves the integration of natural biological cycles and controls it. It also protects and renews the soil fertility and the natural resource base also. It optimizes the management and the use of farm resources. It reduces the use of non-renewable resources and purchased production inputs. It also provides an adequate and dependable form of income. With agriculture, if agriculture crop fails, then they have something besides them to help them in the times of needs. It promotes opportunity in family farming and farm communities also. Organic farming. It is a practice of raising crops which have not been polluted with the use of manures or biofertilizers or biopesticides. Use of natural things. No use of manures, no use of fertilizers, and no use of pesticides in their crops. It is called as organic farming. So instead of healthy cropping systems that provide optimum nutrients to plants and to keep the pest as well as weeds under control, in organic farming there is little or no use of chemical fertilizers or pesticides or herbicides. They don't use it. Therefore, there is no toxicity, no poison due to pollution of the crops, the soil, or the air. Organic wastes are recycled in the form of manure. Biofertilizers include the nitrogen fixing organisms such as the bacteria and the blue-green alga, and mineral absorbing bacteria also. Biopesticides are organisms or their extracts which repel or kills weeds, insects and other pests. Neem leaves, they are often used in the grain storage as biopesticides. And healthy cropping, it includes mixed cropping, intercropping and crop rotation. These cropping systems help in controlling insects, pests and the weeds. What are the advantages of organic farming then? It prevents pollution of any component in our environment. Farm waste are recycled. The food obtained from organic farming are free from pesticides and other toxic chemicals. Organic farming maintains the soil health and also The cropping system of organic farming keeps insects, pests, and weeds under check. Improvement in the crop yields. Agriculture is a science and practice of farming, right? Which mainly involves the rearing of livestock, cultivating land, means doing the agriculture, farming, raising the crops, harvesting, and marketing the produce. It is further divided into many categories. It is divided into the types of crops. Crops are plants which are cultivated by humans for food, for fodder. Fodder is the food which is given to the animals, for fibers, flowers, for timber, etc. Students, there are about 2000 plant species which are cultivated for eating purposes. Many parts of the plants they are eaten as food, like the seeds. Not all the seeds of plants they are edible. If I give you example, large seeds such as those from the lemon, it gives a choking hazard, whereas the seeds of apple and cherries they contain poison cyanide. So edible seeds include the cereals, the pulses, the oil seeds and nuts, means dry fruits. Cereals, this is second part. They include the crops such as the wheat, the maize, barley, sorghum, etc. And cereals they are rich in carbohydrates. Pulses, they include the legumes such as the chicken pea, the gram, the pea, the black gram, etc. Many other are there. Chicken peas means it is the chana dal. Pea means matar. Black gram means the urad. Green gram means moong. The pigeon peas, it means the arhar. We also have one pulse as cowpea. We have the lentil, masoor dal, masoor. And these are excellent source of proteins. Oil seeds crops are also there, and they include the cotton seed, the nilgar, the sunflower, the soya bean, the flax, etc. Linseed oil, flax means, they are the source of oils, fats and fatty acids. It makes you fat. These seeds are typically high in unsaturated fats, and when they are consumed, when they are eaten in moderation, they are regarded as healthy food. But in excess, it is always harmful to you. Coconut oil and palm oil, they are the cheap sources of cooking mediums, and especially in the southern parts they use the coconut oil for cooking purposes. Castor oil is also there, but it is not edible. It is mainly used as a lubricant in the manufacture of soaps and inks, paints and different other things. Nuts and dry fruits. Nuts are rich in proteins and fatty acids, so they are considered to be quite energetic food items. Examples are almond, the walnut, the cashew nut, the pistachio, etc. Fig is also there, raisins, dry apricot, coconut means peanuts, many dates. All these are examples of the dry fruits. Fruits means they include the apple, the orange and mango and banana, pineapple, guava, wow. The papayas, the watermelons, the muskmelons, pomegranate is there, pear, peach, apricot, grapes, many examples I can give. But essentially, fruits are what? The fruits are the ripened ovaries of plants, and they are the good source of vitamins, minerals, roughage and proteins and carbohydrates and fats, means they contain most of the nutrients in them. Vegetables, they are also the edible part of the herbaceous plant. They are eaten in raw form or in the cooked form. Vegetables, they are of the following types. These are the types. Roots of some plants such as carrot, radish, they are eaten as vegetables. We have the stems, means stems of plants such as mustard, bamboo, banana, these are also eaten. And jaggery, sugarcane, it is used to make sugarcane juice and then it is made into jaggeries and all. We have the leafy vegetables. In leafy vegetables, we include the spinach, the lettuce, the cabbage, the tulips and all. We have the inflorescence vegetables, which include the broccoli, the cauliflower and etc. Flowers of banana, fennel, gourd and saffron, they are also the examples of vegetables. Fruit vegetables. Fruit vegetables means they include the tomato, the pumpkin, brinjal, jackfruit, bitter gourd, bottle gourd. These are the fruit vegetables, right? Many are there. Other than this, we have the spices. Certain parts of the plants, such as the leaves, the stems, the flowers, the fruits, and the seeds, they are used to enhance the palatability of the food, to increase the taste of the food. And what do they include? They include the chili, the turmeric, the black pepper, the cumin seeds, the fenugreek seeds, cardamom is there, fennel seeds is there, cinnamon is there, dry ginger is there. These are the examples of some of the spices. Fodder crops also we have, and they provide green fodder to the cattle. And other crops are also there. Crop plants, they are high yields of fibers, like we have the cotton, we have tobaccos, we have tea, coffee, chocolate, peppermint, etc. Different crop seasons. Different crops, they require different climatic conditions, different temperatures and their photo period for their growth and maturity. Sunlight is required for photosynthesis. The process of manufacturing food by green plants. The photo periods, what are these? The photo periods, they are the duration of sunlight that influences plants in their growth, in their flowering, in the formation and the formation of the storage organs, means leaf fall, everything it depends. And in India, there are two main seasons of crop growth. One is the kharif crop and the second is the rabi crop. So kharif crop, these are the crops that are grown during the rainy season, means during the period of June to October. So they are also called as the summer crops. Paddy, maize, millet, groundnut, soya bean, these are some of the examples. Vegetables of kharif crops, they include the spinach, the gourd, the garlic, and so on. Lady's finger, brinjal. Fruits of kharif crops, they include the watermelon, muskmelon, mango. All these are found during the kharif period, means during the period of June to October. We have the rabi crops. Rabi crops are grown from November to April month, and so they are called as winter crops. The important rabi crops, means if we talk about the cereals and pulses, we can talk about wheat, barley, gram, mustard, pea. All these are examples of cereals and pulses. Vegetables which are included, they are the cauliflower, cabbage, carrot, etc. And fruits of rabi crops, they are the apple and the pomegranate. This is some of the difference between the kharif and the rabi crops. Kharif crop, as it is, I said, it is in monsoon season, and rabi crop, it is grown in non-monsoon season. The crops grow in hot and wet conditions, and rabi crops they grow in cold and nearby dry conditions. The kharif crops, they are shown in the beginning of rainy season, and rabi crops, they are sown in October to November during the when the monsoon has retreated. Kharif crops, they are harvested in September to October, which is the end of the monsoon season, and the rabi crops, they are harvested in March and April, means before the hot season starts. Examples are rice and maize, and example is wheat and barley. Improvement in yield. Following three scientific approaches, they are adapted in India to obtain high yield from our agricultural farms, and they include the crop production management, crop variety improvement, and crop protection management. Crop production management. In India, students, is an agricultural based country. In this country, agriculture sectors, it engages about 70% of the population. And if we talk about GNP, gross national product, it accounts for 40%. Farming practices are being followed depend upon the size of the land they are holding, how educated the farmers are, and the financial conditions of the farmers. The production practices, they include no cost production, low cost production, and high cost production. High cost production is based on the improved high yield varieties, improved farming practices, modern technology, and latest agricultural machines and implements that they are using. So, crop production management, it refers to controlling the various aspects to obtain the minimum and the best yield. It has the three main components: the nutrient management, the irrigation, and the cropping pattern. So, nutrient management. Nutrient management means controlling the selection, timing, and amount of nutrient supply to the crops. Like other living organisms, plants also require inorganic elements for building their structure and maintaining their metabolic processes. These inorganic elements, they are called as the nutrients. Nutrients are supplied to the plants by air, water and soil. There are about 40 elements which are found in the plant ash, but only 16 of the elements, they are essential to the plant for the growth and the development. Hence, only these 16 elements, they are called as essential element or essential plant nutrient. And out of these 16 essential elements, 2 elements, that is the carbon and oxygen, they are obtained from air, and hydrogen, it is obtained from water. So out of 16, carbon, oxygen and hydrogen, they get it directly. Means remaining there are 13 elements which are supplied by the soil. And these 13 elements, they are called as minerals. A mineral is a substance which is obtained by mining. These are the 16 essential nutrients of the plants. From where do they get it and what is its type? So, from air, carbon and oxygen, and it is macronutrient, they get it in abundant. So, 2 are there, carbon and oxygen. From water, they get only 1 in abundant proportion, so it is called as macronutrient, and that is hydrogen. Rest 13, they get it from the soil. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. These 6, they are the macronutrients. Macronutrients means which is required in small proportion, large proportion, whereas iron, manganese, zinc, copper, molybdenum, chlorine, these 7 nutrients, they are called as micronutrients. Why they are called as micronutrient? Because they are required in small proportion by the plants. So, type of essential nutrients. Mays in 1915, he divided essential plant nutrients into 2 categories, as I told you, into macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients or macro elements, which is also called as, these are those essential elements which are present in easily detectable quantities. The plants, they can absorb it more easily. Macronutrients take part in synthesizing of organic molecules and development of the osmosis potential. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, these are some of the macronutrients. Out of 13 essential mineral elements, 6 are macronutrients. Nitrogen is there, phosphorus is there, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. These are some of the macronutrients, the 6 macronutrients. Micronutrients, they are those essential elements which are present in plants in small quantities. All of them, they are the mineral elements. Micronutrients are mostly involved in the functioning of enzymes. And out of 13 essential mineral elements, 7, are micronutrients. And which are they? Iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, molybdenum, and chlorine. Here are some of the difference between the micronutrients and the macronutrients. Macronutrients, they are required in large. Micro, they are required in small proportion. The concentration of each macronutrient in the plant is more and this is less. These take part in building the parts of the plant and these are involved in enzyme activities. Macronutrients have scientific role in the electron transport and micronutrients, they are involved in electron transport. Examples are given over here and examples are given over here. Mineral replenishment. Soil is the most important reservoir of plant nutrients. Crop plants regularly withdraw minerals in the form of nutrients from the soil. Unless and until minerals are replenished at regular intervals, the crop plants will develop disorders in structure, in their growth, in their reproduction, in their functioning, in the susceptibility of diseases, etc. So mineral replenishment, it is done through the addition of manures and fertilizers to the crops. Thus we come to the end of this lecture. If you like, then please share, like and subscribe for my channel and answer these questions in your book. So students, that's all for today. Bye bye. Bye bye.